again, they'll become better at soccer, they'll become better at communicators, and if they can actually learn English better. Her English is pretty good, but yeah, I'm talking about you right there. Her English is pretty good, but a lot of them spend 6 to 10 years in school learning English, and then they go to private schools like that charge an arm and a leg to learn, and they still don't learn very much. I learned more in 3 months Japanese, and they learn in 20 years probably of learning English. And so they say it's different. There's 107 sounds that you make in Japanese. There's about 2,100 in English. And so in that sense, it's harder to speak English for the Japanese person than for an English person to speak Japanese. But all of their words, for instance, here's a good one. Let's see if you can hear the difference. Hashi, hashi, hashi. You hear the difference? I actually said bridge and chopsticks and edge of table is what I just said. 3 different words, but they all sound exactly the same. And so even now, there's a word called shoujo, which means a young girl or a symptom to a sickness or a virgin. And if you don't say it the right way, you look at a little child, oh, she's such a cute little girl, and I could be saying she's such a cute little virgin. And it's not good to say that about little kids. And so I don't even use that word anymore because I get scared. And so I go around and she's a nice little girl, and don't use the virgin whatsoever. And so Japanese pronunciation isn't overly hard, but because the words are so close together, you can create an international incident if you don't be careful. Yeah. But again, learning the language, you people all love Japan, you all love Kaiju. One of my friends, Ed, who comes to Japan quite often, he doesn't speak a lot of Japanese, but he knows Kaiju dialect, so I don't even have to translate. You got a Japanese guy who loves Godzilla and an Ed who loves Godzilla, and they'll say, oh, Kaiju, oh, yeah. They just go back and forth, and they're just using, oh, yeah, Bakudan, okay, Bakudan, yeah. They're just going the words that they know, they're communicating. And so, start there. Find something you're all interested in, and that's Kaiju. And you just go with that. I mean, Kaiju is now an English word, like sushi. I mean, it takes the Godzilla and Pacific Rim. They use Kaiju all the time, and now, so Kaiju is now an English word. Yeah, okay. Still have a what? I can't hear you. Say it again.
Does Japan have an emperor?
Yes. Yes, he still has the emperor. He's, I think I said it at the beginning, when MacArthur came to Japan, and I heard this directly from my friend who did the magic trick, they left the emperor as he is for one thing. Everybody had depended on the emperor. When the emperor was considered the god of Japan, people who wanted to work at the emperor's palace, they had to go through salt had to be thrown on them to purify them. They had to go into hot baths, scalding hot baths, time after time after time, and then they finally got to work there. When he came into the room, everybody had to look down, or it was kind of like Medusa, and he turned into a statue or something. And so in those days, when they're thinking of him as a god, and all of a sudden they lost the war, and he's not a god anymore, they left him as the symbol so that people will still have something to look forward to. And so they're kind of like they're just kind of like celebrities now in that sense, that they look up to, like Europe, the Queen and things like that. They don't have the power of the Queen, they're just a symbol, but they wonder about the son, they wonder about the grandchildren. They're not always, but sometimes they're in the news, etc., stuff like that. So they deal with the emperor. They're actually the longest living royalty line in the world, Japan. And so the next emperor will probably come around April. It'll be the son of the present day emperor, and again, the era will change. I think that my time is up. He's pushing the button saying I gotta go. Give me one more quick question, we gotta go.
How did you get the part of Ultra 721?
That was an interesting story, and it's a great question. After doing M11, I think it was 2000 when we were in Hollywood at the Roosevelt Hotel. It's where Marilyn Monroe's ghost is, and it's got ghosts all the way, it's haunted. And so that year they had like 10 or 12 guests come at one time, and so I spent all my time in this big room in Hollywood. I wasn't able to leave once. I think I lost about 5 pounds over 3 days because I couldn't leave. I was just translating for everybody. One of the stuntmen who was there, Kitagawa Yuki is his name, he was a Ultraman stuntman. And when I went back to Japan, they were looking for someone who could be a Men in Black, but was not Japanese. And so he hooked me up And it started from there. So it was actually, it went so fast, I don't really remember even filming the thing, and I forgot I was even in it for quite a while, until someone showed me that I was in it. I hadn't seen the actual movie of that until about 3 years ago. And so, but that's it connected there. The funny story about that is, Yuki, who's a famous stuntman, does karate, does the flips off of everything and everything else, and he's actually going to be in another Ultraman here shortly. While we were doing his session, he stood up on this table at the end, jumped off, did a flip, and then did this karate jump, and everybody went, wow, this is great! I had a better story. The mirror of both Marilyn Monroe's mirror that she used while she was in the hotel was in the basement of the Roosevelt Hotel. We went down there to take a picture. At the time, he had one of those throwaway cameras. You know, he's trying to, and then for some reason, it wouldn't work. He kept pushing the button. When he went to push the button again, the film fell out of the camera. And I just made the comment, well, maybe her ghost doesn't want you to take the picture. He's just, you know, he knows all these flames. He beats the crap out of Kaiju in these movies and stuff. He got so worried about the ghost, he stayed in my room that night. and so he does this flip off the thing. It was like they really, but yeah, I said, I got a better story for you. and so he owed me one, basically. And so we went back. He connected me to the director of Ultra 7. It was a very short series, but it actually has gotten a lot of momentum now. They just came out in Blu-ray not for some reason, because they have a cult following for that. And so they're actually trying to bring that back. So maybe in the future I may be in something else that has to do with Ultraman as well, which would be cool. I'd love to do it. Anyway, I think we're out of time. Are we out of time? Yeah?
One more, Scott.
I can do one more. Okay, anybody have one more question? Yes, in the back. Yeah, we actually tried that 4 or 5 years ago. We did it 2 years straight, and then they didn't have a room for us. But I would love to do it. I mean, we could just, I do what's called mat Pilates, so we don't need any of the machines. We can just move all these chairs out of the way and do it. One thing I would say really quick, squats, push-ups, pull-ups, all these things, of course, are basics, but they're very hard to do. When you do squats, don't put your feet straight forward. Move up. The Pilates stance is like this. These are your feet. And so they're out diagonally. Put your feet out diagonally, then put them farther apart than your shoulders diagonally, and then do squats. You're actually using your quads, which are your upper muscles here, your hamstrings, and also your butt, your glute muscles at the same time. So even people who have a hard time with knee problems, you don't have to bend all the way down. Just do it very slowly. And bit by bit, the 5-minute thing, let's do it 1 minute out of the 5 minutes, whatever. Continue to do it, you get stronger. Last story, I'm trying to rebuild parts of Japan by making the communities better. There's a place called Amagasaki, which is right outside of Osaka, that got hit hard with the communist problems and stuff like that. We do something every week that has to do with Kaiju or 007, or all kinds of stuff. We have all the people that get together. The money that we make there, we use to open up another store, and we pay the rent for the first few months for the people to get their startup. And so we do this something every week to have this going. In Tokyo right now, there's a small city outside of Tokyo that just had the insurance company Aflac has just opened up their offices there, and so it's growing. They just built a brand new train station as well. I'm there working with the local politicians to get the older generation more active. They walk a lot, but they live to be an average age, as I said before, 85 years old, the women. They actually only active from 71 to about 74 years of age. After that, they're usually sick or in a hospital or waiting to die. Very quick story here. My grandmothers are 95 and 96. My 96-year-old grandmother is looking for her 4th husband right now. My 94-year-old grandmother, she bowls 3 times a week, and she gets upset because she wants to double her age as her score, which is 180 something. You know, says, I couldn't do it again. I'll be a year older next year, dang it. And so I'm trying to build that, not philosophy, but that feeling into the Japanese community. And so I've taught this Pilates to this group of older women, average age of 68 years old. They all wanted to climb Mount Fuji. I climbed Mount Fuji 4 times in 10 days. I did it on purpose because there are 4 different entrances to it, so I figured I had to hit all entrances to do it. And so, in that sense, I'm in very good shape. That's why the mountain, when the flooding came in, it was easy for me. They said, well, we're too old to do it. I said, no. I put them on a program for 6 months, and 40 women aged 68 climbed the mountain about 1 month ago. And so, yeah, and so if anything's possible, I'll be here all weekend. I wish I had another hour, but I don't know. We're done here. But if you have any other questions like that, anything's okay. I have an original CD. It's actually a Christmas CD. Anybody who buys it, I will use the money as for the flooding and things like that. Anything that helps. So if you'd like to buy my CD, Tim Price, Alan Barnes, Jay Johnson are all helping me do it. It's really well done. It's my voice, but it's really well done music. So if you're into that, please let me know. I will do it.